No matter if points are gained or points are lost, there will be much to discuss. For analysis regarding tonight's Winnipeg Jets game, here are Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg, and your host, Drew Mandel. The Illegal Curve post-game show, presented by Play Now, the official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets, starts now.
60-minute effort is what Jets head coach Scott Arniel wanted to see out of his Winnipeg Jets tonight. We always give a full 60-minute effort here on the Illegal Curve post-game show. It's a 60-minute effort. I didn't say if it's a good effort or a bad effort that we put forth, but it's an effort nonetheless. And with that intro out of the way, we say good evening, Winnipeg. Good evening, Manitoba. And for all those who joining us on our social media platforms and our YouTube channel, we say good evening, universe, and welcome to the Illegal Curve post-game show. Dave Manouk in the top right, Ezra Ginsburg in the bottom middle. I'm your host, Drew Mandel, celebrating Devil's Night and Gate Night as we're getting set for Halloween. Are those still things? I don't think those are things anymore. Those were things from when we were sort of youths of that age.
Well, here, Drew, I've got a comment up there. Somebody has defined Gate Night for us.
Well, that's because RS Matrix and I were talking before we started. I called it Gates Night, and he or she, they corrected me and said it's Gate Night, singular, not plural, not possessive. So and then he went into the whole,
what they don't see, unfortunately, Drew, what they don't understand is because you grew up in Tuxedo, you had multiple gates, while most people who grew up, not as affluent had just, if we were lucky, we didn't have a gate in the North End, but we were not so lucky to have gates.
Yeah. We had Gate Night, we had Shark Night. That's when the Sharks went. And then we had Moat Night. You had to get over the moat. There were a lot of hurdles to climb over. To get
I just hope nobody eggs my house. That's what I'm basically hoping for here.
Ironically, you might be the one who eggs your own house in an attempt to break some eggs to make some scrambled eggs afterwards. But we all have our things that we have to get into. The Winnipeg Jets victorious tonight over the Chicago Blackhawks. They continue their mastery over the Blackhawks. What's that record in the last 12, Dave Manouk?
11-0-1.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
And that's going back. What is that going back? What is
22-23.
4 years now, right?
Yeah.
Both things can be true, that the Jets have been good in that span and the Blackhawks haven't been. And I think that that was validated. 6-3 is the final in tonight's contest. Again, a much more complete effort by the Winnipeg Jets, a much more clean effort, I would suggest, for the Winnipeg Jets. They did not have that second period lull. In fact, that's where they scored the only goals of the second period belonged to the Winnipeg Jets, so they had a commanding lead after 40 minutes. So I think the Jets head coach Scott Arniel, when he reaches the podium in the Matt Frost Media Center, something we will bring to you live here on the Illegal Curve post-game show, you're going to have a much more pleased Winnipeg Jets head coach. Yeah, there was a bit of a lull for those 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes in the third period when the game was mostly out of hand at that point in time. But by and large, one of the Jets' better efforts over the last number of games than some other victories that we had seen.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%, boys. And one of the things that I like most about this game is that the Jets didn't really take the foot off the gas in the third period. Yeah, the Hawks got a couple of goals. That goal by Andre Burakovsky was
insane.
Just like, where did that come from? Like, I don't know about you guys, but like when he scored that goal, that was the goal that made it 5-3.
Yeah,
I'm thinking to myself, like, did he just pull that in this game in that situation? And obviously Burakovsky, he's got skill. Like, he's not exactly, he's not a superstar or anything like that, but he's got a lot of skill. Obviously on the Kraken the last few years, right? But yeah, that was impressive. So look, Chicago made it a 2-goal game, but I thought that the Jets kept the foot on the gas. Obviously, Scheifele, Connor, Velarde, guys, like, that was a big night for them. And what else is there to expect from that line? I mean, we expect them to be great every night. But I agree with Drew's assessment. Like, the first period, there was a little bit of a lull there for 5 to 10 minutes that you don't like. They weren't generating a ton of offense, but they made up for it in the second period. The second period was all Jets, and at times, guys, it was like men versus boys out there. Yeah. And obviously, Connor, like, that release, and Kevin Sawyer was talking about it on the broadcast. I mean, we're talking like Kyle Connor here. We get to watch him on a nightly basis. He's got one of the best releases. Bedard might have a better release than Kyle Connor. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the way he's able to unleash it when it looks like it should not be physically possible to do so, like from between his legs, like you saw. I mean, Connor Hellebuck was up to the challenge in that instance, but Connor Bedard is continuing to blossom as he's now in his third year as a professional. And this Chicago Blackhawks team, look, they're not great. I don't think anybody would ever confuse them as a great hockey team. They have their issues, particularly on the back end. I would suggest that that's where they're lacking a little bit. But this is going to be a more competitive, a more, a better, have higher expectations, the Blackhawks would. And they came into this game on a heater, remember. They came into this game having played some pretty good hockey over the last 5, 6, 7 games. So the Jets couldn't take them lightly. And I think that's sort of one of the things I bet you Scott Arniel will be most pleased about, is that the Jets went in there, they set the tone for the game. They sort of reminded the Blackhawks, yeah, you want to get up to our level. You want to get up to our reputation. You're not there yet, little brother. You got some talent, you got some skill, you got some good things going for you, but you're not quite there yet. And I think the Jets sort of reminded them a little bit about that in the course of tonight's contest.
Absolutely. And sorry, Dave, I was just going to say, and they're respectable. That's the word I would use. They haven't been respectable the previous years. And Jeff Blashill is a good coach. So Jeff Blashill knows, like, it's an uphill climb to get this team into the playoffs. The expectations are not to make the playoffs, especially in the Central Division. But I think that's what I would say is the Blackhawks, the way they played tonight and then the way they've played up until this point, you can kind of start to see they're starting to find a little bit of an identity and make it difficult to beat them. They're not necessarily a pushover anymore.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of talent. We saw it in the first period on the power play where they, I think it was Nazar, right, as he got in between the defense and had that breakaway chance. I mean, he was on the power play, but still a real nice play. Connor Hellebuck made a big stop, and then he decided to have an adventure, Drew. I mean, Connor Hellebuck and adventuring has been kind of the norm with some of these goals against, which we'll of course get into during the game recap. But I think I think this team knew that they couldn't afford to piss off their coach. I think that's what it comes down to. I think that they knew that they had to have Scott Arniel was asked about it by Murat, and he tried to play it off like, who, me, grumpy? In today's media availability after morning skate. But at the same time, like, I think everybody was aware, like, listen, like, you're not happy, and everyone can see it. Whether it's the eye test or the analytics, the Jets' numbers, despite their record, have not been good. Goaltending has been very good. But overall, this team has not been playing full, complete games. So what did Scott Arniel want from his group? Consistency. And he wanted a complete game. Well, again, never going to be perfect, right, Ezzy? Because there are two teams playing. And this Chicago team, again, are they at the same level as the Jets? No. Do they have some really good young pieces, though? Absolutely. They've got a lot of talent. And they're definitely a team on the upswing. So there's should be a lot of reasons for excitement. And of course, we had the hype of Taves playing against his old team and that excitement. You had a lot of Chicago media guys in Winnipeg to cover that moment, if you will. And I'm sure it'll be even bigger when the Jets go down to Chicago in January, right, Drew?
Yeah, January, that's right.
So, there was a lot of going on. But from the Jets' perspective, and most importantly, you didn't let it, as Ezzy touched on already, you had a really good second period, which is what you needed because you've been having really bad lulls. So you come out of the second period up 2-0 in terms of goals for versus against, and that's another kind of win. And ultimately, remember, guys, what is the most important thing? You're now 8-3-0, and you still have no Lowry, you still have no Perfetti, and you still have no Sandberg. And despite the fact that all three of those guys were skating. Again, Adam Lowry this morning was skating in a regular jersey, the other two in non-contact. The first time they've joined the team for a skate, so that's kind of notable, I guess. And it still doesn't seem like those guys are anywhere close. Again, Arniel kind of used until they change jersey color, I'm not interested in them. Of course, when I asked him about Lowry when he was wearing yellow, he said, I'm not worried about him until he changes jersey color. Well, he changed jersey color the next day. I don't think we're going to have that sort of time thing this time, but at the same time, ultimately, you've got...
maybe you just need to ask the question. Maybe if you ask the question, then they immediately have to change the jersey.
I'll ask... Well, I didn't ask it today, but I can ask it tomorrow. But anyways, I think... And it was funny because Jonathan Taves was kind of asked about, still kind of plodding along without those three. And he's like, oh, here comes Scott Arniel.
Hey, Kelly.
Scott, maybe not 60 minutes of perfection, but is that about as close to the 60-minute game you've been looking for so far this year?
Yeah, that was a real good game. I thought there's little things that happen over the course of a game. I don't know if there ever is a perfect 60, but that was one of our best of the year. Liked a lot of what we did, whether that was our coverage, whether that was our breakouts. I thought we were really good on our breakouts. They're a quick young team, and I thought we did a good job for the most part trying to stay over top of them and slow them down. And obviously we capitalized on all our chances.
It didn't look like Chicago had much going. They got a bit of a lift when that puck went off the stanchion, and Carolina was able to put it in. But defensively, though, was that the kind of hockey that you're looking for?
Yeah, that's more of what we need to do. It's the zone time happens. There's going to be shots from the periphery. There's going to be situations where that they're going to try to attack. I just thought attack to the inside. I thought we did a really good job protecting that inside, and that's when we're at our best. The gutsy ice, we don't give teams much to work with.
Scott, Gabriel Velarde had a ton of chances early in the season, but wasn't necessarily getting rewarded with the goals. How nice was it to see him get 2 tonight? Yeah,
I know he was stressing pretty hard there about getting his first, and ever since, actually, he has. It's like I mentioned, that he looks like he's skating 10 miles per hour faster. But that line was obviously outstanding. He's a goal scorer. He gets the holes, he gets the places, and he can make things happen. And those three, the chemistry that they have, they all have kind of different things that they bring to the line. And Gabe knows what his sort of role is, and he's really starting to play it.
Is there anything you can tell us about Gustav Nyquist?
No, we'll just tweak something there in the corner, and so we've got to look at tomorrow and we'll find out. That's it.
Yeah.
Easy night.
Can't let you off that easy, Coach. Just from that aspect, though, Scott, and I don't know, you always look for different game time situations or game time situations in the preseason. So with what you went through, did that help you get through, having to go with just 11-40?
Without Gus? Oh, yeah, without.
Trying to manipulate with that because you certainly had a lot of practice in that in the preseason with losing guys early in games.
Yeah, no, you're right on about that. And, I think guys get kind of excited about it too because they know their ice time is going up. But that's just, you don't want to do that for an extended period of time. But when it happens in a game, the guys, they all, recognize what a little bit more was needed and kind of tried to roll a lot of different guys through that. Kind of had a mix-up on one of our line changes. Not everybody knew who was going for who, but at the end of the day, that's when you have injuries like that. And then we lost Luke, in the second period for a stretch. Some heavy lifting by our D, but I just like the way everybody kind of, dug in and did a little bit more. Thank you.
An easy night for the Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel as he was addressing the assembled media in the
shortest
media center.
Media ever.
Yeah. Well, shortest, sometimes, they've had some short ones when they've been grumpy. This one was just like, well, I guess this is sort of a normal night, normal game, normal victory. Don't need to delve too deep into it. We can just move on to the next one that's staring us in the face. And, of course, the Jets will next be in action on Saturday afternoon, welcoming Sidney Crosby to the downtown arena, which is always fun when Crosby's in town. By the way, not just Sidney Crosby. How about this? The league leading Pittsburgh Penguins are coming to town on Saturday.
Just as we all predicted.
Just as we all predicted, indeed. More on that, of course, on Saturday morning's edition of the Illegal Curve Hockey Show. But how about that? The league-leading Pittsburgh Penguins. We've gone back in time here, apparently. They've found the rejuvenation machine, and the Penguins are atop the entire NHL after they won tonight in Minnesota in St. Paul.
The rumors of their demise were greatly exaggerated.
Yes, you were absolutely right about that. Just absolutely sort of a stunning start to the season for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 8-2-2. They're scoring a lot. They've got 44 goals on the season, which I believe is tops in the entire NHL. Indeed, it is. And they're actually not giving up a ton. They've only given up 31 goals. So it's going to be a pretty decent game. come Saturday afternoon. Much more on that, of course, later on in the show and Saturday morning on the Illegal Curve Hockey Show. So first things first, it is tonight's contest against the Chicago Blackhawks, a 6-3 victory for the Winnipeg Jets. By my rudimentary math skills, that tells me we got 9 goals we got to talk about. Let's not waste another second and get right into it. It's the Play Now game recap.
The Play Now game recap.
Big thanks to our friends at Play Now for their continued support. Until April 17th, earn a $5 sports bonus bet for each Jets power play goal when you place a qualifying same-game parlay wager on a Winnipeg Jets regular season game. Conditions apply. Bet with Play Now, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus. Enjoy responsibly. Talk about a power play goal. Well, guess what? The Jets open the scoring with a power play goal. 1 minute and 42 seconds into the game, to be exact. Vlad Nemesnikov, 5 goals on the year for the Jets player. So if I do some simple math, he's already got 5. He's on pace for somewhere around 37.5, 38 goals this season, which would be a career high for him if he gets to that number. He's not, but it's a fun start to the season for him. Nemesnikov, his 5th of the season, assisted Gus Nyquist and Nito Niederreiter. The Jets have a very early 1-0 lead, 1 minute and 42 seconds into tonight's contest. Again, it's a power play goal. You like the zone entry. You don't really like the defensive coverage by the Chicago Blackhawks here. And then Nemesnikov is just left all alone. Both Connor Murphy and Alex Vlasic, I was going to call him Mark Edward. That's not his name. That's his cousin. Alex Vlasic and Connor Murphy, just nobody takes Vlad Nemesnikov. The puck he's standing next to Spencer Knight. He makes no mistake putting it past the young Blackhawks goaltender, and the Jets have an early 1-0 lead, Ezzy.
Yeah, before I get into the goal, I really thought that line was cooking tonight. And it's unfortunate that Gus Nyquist had to leave the game in the first period, because we've talked about, who do the Jets, I shouldn't say who do the Jets need to get a little bit more even strength offense from? One of the guys we talked about on Saturday was Gus Nyquist, right?
Sure.
I love the work that he does in the neutral zone, right? He kind of shimmies through the neutral zone. And I agree, the defensive coverage, not just on this goal, but on many of the goals was not great. But this to me is just an example of everybody being in the right position, right? Vladimir Nemesnikov is in the right position, trailing Nyquist there, and Niederreiter just makes a nice pass to Nyquist, who's following up the play. So I just thought it was really good positioning, and they were playing as a 3-man forward unit. So again, hopefully Gus Nyquist
coming downhill with speed in this instance.
Exactly. And hopefully Nyquist is not going to be out for any significant amount of time, even though Dave mentioned Lowry's return is imminent. Obviously, Perfetti's not going to be back for another couple of weeks, but it would sure, take away some even strength offense if Nyquist is going to be out for any significant amount of time.
Yeah, especially because he's out, quietly, I would say he's been productive. He hasn't, he still doesn't have that goal yet. We thought he had it on, I guess that was Tuesday, but ended up going to
Niederreiter.
Yeah. But, he's got 5 points. He's fitting in. He's beginning to look a little more comfortable. He doesn't look like he's, I'd say, behind the play as much as he did earlier in the year. So certainly, and Scott O'Neill said there really is no update. He tweaked something. Dave, you were there. Did you see anything? That's sort of that made you think, and then all of a sudden, he's going down the tunnel and he's gone for the rest of the evening.
So I didn't, in all honesty, because it was away from the play,
right? And
so I was sitting in our spot in the press box, and I noticed him on the bench talking to a trainer, and then I don't, again, if you could actually, Drew, if you want, you can post the video, because I have it on my Twitter, so you can grab it, because I did notice. I was like, I watched, and I was like, he was talking to him, and then you could see he was uncomfortable, and if you watch his walk down the tunnel, he does not look good. So I again, what it was, I got some information afterwards from folks who had video access to see it, and they said that it was it looked like he twisted awkwardly during the face-off, so maybe he got tangled up. But so this is not the video of it actually happening, but it's basically you can just see
this is him going down the tunnel to the Jets dressing room. You can see how gingerly he's really moving. Something is
Yeah, but just it's even worse. Like this part isn't that, and then he's got the trainer there, and you can just see he's just going slow, and he's not really putting a lot of weight.
Yeah, he's holding on to the trainer. I can go back to another video. You keep talking. I'll pull up the other one.
But anyway, so that was the one that you kind of watched it, and you're like, all right, well that doesn't look great, but and that's, I don't know, Drew's giving a ride down my Twitter now. That's kind of nice there, Drew. But anyway,
I forgot that was still visible. Sorry.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So anyway, it's not great. It doesn't look good. And again, we didn't know he only played about 27 seconds in his last shift, and then went to the room. And obviously the Jets declared him after the second period not to be returning. So yeah, we'll see. But I guess what it means, Ezzy and Drew, is it's a little lifeline for. I mean, again, we presume that Lowry's either. Again, I don't think he's back on Saturday against the Penguins. I just don't see it happening. I could be wrong. I think he plays on the West Coast trip. I think he plays for the Moose this weekend. So, and
they have 2 days off between their first game, which I forget where in California
LA?
that first game is. There you go. So there's 2 days off. So that I think what you're saying, Dave, makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, you're not rushing him into this game because the Penguins are first place in the NHL and you need these points, and so I think that makes a lot of sense that you get him going on that California road trip.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to rush him. I mean, you've waited this.
If he puts in a full practice tomorrow, is that rushing him?
Well, no, I mean, yeah.
If he's not ready, that's what we meant.
If
he's not ready to go, they're not going to rush him. That's what.
Remember, he's only had morning skates. Really, he hasn't had a true.
Right. That's why tomorrow he's got a full practice.
But that's one though, Drew. I mean, I think that you really want to give him a couple because remember,
Drew really wants him to play. Drew predicted he'd come back November 1st.
No,
so I think Drew really wants him to come back.
Well, I mean, Adam Lowry himself basically told us that he was planning on coming back November 1st. So don't call him Nostradamus or something like that.
Yeah,
but I think
don't call me that regardless.
But I think what it comes down to is that you've got I think from that perspective, remember, because think about it like this. And again, we're deviating from the game, but you've got Lowry who's going to practice on tomorrow at noon when the Jets hit the ice at Canada Life Center. So that's at noon. But you want to really see how he comes out of the game and then the practice and see how he is the next morning. You're not going to put him into a game it's at 2:00. So to me, again, the Penguins game seems unrealistic. What makes more sense, Ezzy, is you practice him with the Jets on Friday. You conditioning loan to the Moose. He practices with the Moose on Saturday, plays the game with the Moose on Sunday, and then I don't think he plays the game on Monday. I think you play him on Sunday, and then you send him on the road with the team on Monday. That would be my prediction.
I think the important thing here, Dave, is that Lowry is very close to coming back. So whether he comes back on Saturday, that's not really the point. The point is that he's coming back soon, right? So he'll be back for that California road trip. That's the most important part, and they need him, right? Like we talk about the Jets' struggles. They didn't struggle tonight with their even strength offense, but Adam Lowry is only going to help that.
Adam Lowry is only going to help the Winnipeg Jets. No question about that. 1-0 for the Jets on the Nemesnikov goal. The Blackhawks tie it up. It's a weird one. I mean, there's no fault of anyone except, I guess, the end boards. Teuvo Teravainen gets his second of the year, assist to Connor Murphy. It's just a bad bounce.
No, Drew, assist to Stanchion.
Well, Stanchion is definitely...
In Stanchion we trust.
Yeah, Murphy gets the secondary assist. Stanchion gets the primary assist. It's an innocent dump in. It hits the stanchion. It bounces out in front of the net. Connor Hellebuyck has, of course, vacated the net to go play the puck. And Teuvo Teravainen will not have an easier goal in his NHL career. And it's 1-1 at that point in time, just about the halfway mark of the first period. You see one of those bad bounces at least once a year. Probably every team gets one of those against them at least once a year. Here, this might be the Winnipeg Jets version of that. Although I would argue that the goal in Minnesota off the Brock Faber one, off the glass behind the net, back over the net, and off Hellebuyck could have been the bad one. A couple bad goals, bad bounces, weird bounces in a row for the Winnipeg Jets in consecutive games.
You're right on that. I mean, there's crazy bounces in hockey, but it seems like these last two games, there's been like 10 of these bounces. Yeah. So even old cement legs Ginsburg could have scored on that one. That was one of the easiest goals you're ever going to see for Teuvo Teravainen. I'll be honest with you guys. I forgot Teravainen was on the Blackhawks. Like, I realized that, he's a member of the team, but he's kind of one of those guys that, like, obviously he started his career with Chicago. Yeah. Or no, did he start with Carolina? So he started with Carolina, and then he was traded to Chicago, right?
What is this, Hurricanes lunch?
Someone might want to fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure he was drafted by Carolina. Hold on, I'm checking right now.
Wait, are you fact checking yourself?
Yeah, he was drafted.
Himself.
He was drafted by Carolina.
No, he was drafted by the Blackhawks.
Sorry, drafted by Chicago, traded to Carolina,
Yes.
and then came back to Chicago.
Yes,
I think
exactly
this is
right.
his third time on Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, obviously, I didn't.
Second time on Chicago.
Second time on Chicago.
He was drafted by them. He went to Carolina.
Right.
Was he part of the Brian Bickle trade?
Possibly. He's got one Stanley Cup. He wasn't there for the 2015 Cup.
No, he was there for the 14-15 Cup.
Yeah, there you go. So nice for him. But I mean, again, guys, like you can't really analyze this goal. I mean, it's just a complete fluke goal. So good for the Blackhawks for getting on the board, but really they shouldn't have had a goal in the first period.
Never mind that. Good for Drew for knowing that he was part of the Brian Bickle trade. I was right about that.
That a boy.
Thank you.
Well, Drew, you're the one that has to fact check me. I have killed way too many brain cells. So
I mean, we're both in trouble in that case. But in any event, Teravainen gets the tying goal in this game at the 8:57 mark, and then about 8 minutes later, just almost exactly 8 minutes later, 7 minutes and 59 seconds to be exact, the Jets retake the lead. Dave, Gabe Vilardi getting his third of the season, assist to Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor. It's a great play by Morrissey to headman it up, and beautiful pass by Connor onto the stick of Scheifele, and then a 2-on-1 Scheifele to Vilardi. Alex Vlasic is just really, he's the defender back trying to defend that 2-on-1 and does not do a great job at it. And the Jets get the lead back on this very well executed breakout textbook. DeMello behind the Jets net to Morrissey up to Connor, and just the beautiful pass from Kyle Connor onto the tape of Mark Scheifele after Louis Crevier. I'm not familiar with him.
Come on, Crevier, Drew. Come on.
Louis Crevier steps up on Kyle
Parlez-vous
Connor.
français, Drew?
No, un peu. But
Je dois aller
Crevier
à la salle de bain. Salle de bain pour Drew.
Crevier steps up on Kyle Connor, which was a mistake on his part because Connor just touches it over to Scheifele. Then the 2-on-1 makes no mistake. 2-1 for the Jets after 20 minutes, Dave.
Yeah, and it's just the top line was so good in terms of like just
really
their connectivity is just ridiculous. And it's funny how there was all this stress about Gabriel Vilardi. And remember, he also missed a tap in. He could have had a hat trick in today's game because Josh Morrissey set him up for a play that it was a tough one. It wouldn't have been easy, but he had a good chance at that one. So he definitely, he's converting now what we talked about when he was in his goalless situation for the first 8 games. And now he's got 4 in his last 4. No, it was 7 games. And now he's got 4 and 4, but
don't ask me, Drew. Don't ask me, Dave, because I have no idea who drafted Teuvo Teravainen. So
that's fair. That's all good, but we'll let that one pass. But the fact of the matter is that you've got those guys are just playing so well, and you're right to highlight the play by Kyle Connor, Drew, because I watched it and I thought he is just so talented. He draws you in, so you think you're going to have to pin him to the board. He makes just the most soft pass to Mark Scheifele. And now suddenly the Jets have this 2-on-1, and Scheifele to Vilardi. It's you almost feel bad for Spencer Knight because it's such, you either got to worry about Mark Scheifele's shot, which we'll be talking about in the next goal, or you have to worry about the pass over to Gabriel Vilardi, who's also got incredible hands in tight. So it's kind of like a real unfortunate. Yeah, pick your poison for the I was going to say for the Knights goaltender, but for Spencer Knight, who's in net. And
Spencer Knight is his name. He's the Blackhawks goaltender.
Yeah. But anyways, the point is that he's kind of he's in a difficult position. Just a great play by those guys. And of course, Gabriel Vilardi has his first goal of the game, but not his last.
Certainly not. 2-1 for the Jets after 20 minutes. And then the question, of course, for the Winnipeg Jets as of late has been why the struggles in the second period. Was it the long change? There was some philosophy that the Jets and their foot speed, the lack thereof of a foot speed with the long change in the second period, maybe that's been causing them some issues. Well, tonight's second period certainly did not cause them any issues whatsoever. They get the only 2 goals in the second period. And the first of those 2, the third of the game for the Winnipeg Jets, comes at the 1 minute 54 second mark. It's Mark Scheifele. It's his 9th of the year. Assist to Kyle Connor. Connor just picks up an absolute burst of speed at picking up the turned over puck, gets it over to Scheifele, who makes no mistake. Again, this one's not a great goal. Spencer Knight has to make this save. It's a real nice play by Kyle Connor, picking up the puck in the neutral zone after the Blackhawks defender. In this case, it's not defender. Blackhawks centerman Jason Dickinson just sort of aimlessly throws the puck up the sideboards in the neutral zone. Kyle Connor picks it up with a head of speed, finds Scheifele, but Spencer Knight has to make this save. Can't let it get past him the way it does. But the Jets will take it gladly. It's a shot from the face-off circle, from the face-off dot, but it beats Knight short side, and it's 3-1 for the Winnipeg Jets.
I agree with you, Drew, that Spencer Knight has got to stop this one, especially when it's a one-goal game, right? Like it's because of where we're at in the game. And, you mentioned Jason Dickinson turns the puck over to Kyle Connor in the neutral zone. I don't know if you mentioned this. Sorry, I was kind of fiddling around here on my different tabs that I have open, but he takes a run at Connor, and Connor just goes whoop and goes right around him. So it was really a pretty terrible shift for Jason Dickinson. So Connor, again, it's just like he was doing everything. We haven't even talked about, I really liked Kyle Connor on the penalty kill. I thought he was really hustling. And I'll be honest, a few years back, guys, when we were talking about, should Scheifele and Connor play more on the PK, I kind of was skeptical. And I'll be honest, I've been wrong about that. And I'm not saying Kyle Connor is, the league's best penalty killer or anything like that, but he has definitely stepped up his game. I thought he was
the league's most dangerous penalty killer.
Well, yeah, because nobody in the NHL wants to turn the puck over to Kyle Connor. Right. You turn over the puck to Kyle Connor in your own zone, it's most likely going in the net. So this was a really nice play by Connor, who steps around Dickinson. And then, Scheifele, most NHL goaltenders shouldn't be scored on from that angle. But Mark Scheifele is obviously a special goal scorer, and give him credit. He puts a shot on that kind of fools Spencer Knight. But I think of the other 5 goals, I don't know how many of them were necessarily Spencer Knight's fault. This one, you could say, he probably
the Morrissey one was.
Well, I mean,
he just lost his net.
It hits the post and then goes off of him, right? Like that was another. I know you're joking, Drew, but let's put it this way: it wasn't the best night for Spencer Knight. Like that one.
Not.
Ooh, I like it.
Oh boy, 3-1 for the Jets at this point in time. The Jets make it 4-1. Gabe Vilardi again. This is at the 11:19 mark of the second period. Assist to Dylan DeMello and to Josh Morrissey on this one, but of course he's not going to get credit for it. But it's all Mark Scheifele. This is a Mark Scheifele, based goal. Just the way he plays this one is just absolutely tremendous. Slowing down the play, using his body to shield the puck. Finding Josh Morrissey down to DeMello. And I mean, Vilardi doesn't get a ton of space between him and Alex Vlasic, but he gets enough space where that DeMello tees him up, and Vilardi makes no mistake on and off his stick in a blink of an eye. Alex Vlasic is like, I thought I'm in good position, but he gets just that maybe quarter step away, Dave. And Vilardi is just tremendous with this shot to beat Spencer Knight. But it's all Mark Scheifele starting in the neutral zone, and the way he just gains the zone and just slows it all down and decides to just sort of like a cat toying with a mouse, and the mouse being other professional hockey players on the Chicago Blackhawks team.
Yeah, and
Dave, Drew's sorry, before you get in there, Dave, Drew's making me want to watch Tom and Jerry right now.
But also, I mean, look,
you said cat and mouse, Drew. You're shaking your head.
I understood what you meant. I understood. Well, no buts. I mean, Tom and Jerry is a great cartoon. I love Tom.
Okay, all right. Drew, I thought was just I think Drew, we've been doing the show for so long that anything that comes out of my mouth, you're just like, what's he going to say next, right?
Well, Tom and Jerry is a great reference. I mean, I'm totally relevant in 2020.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right. Well, anyways, getting back to the goal though, I think you're right, Drew. It is again. You just see the comfort that these guys all have together. And they're all, and the cycle's working really well here because you got Dylan DeMello who goes on the attack and goes low, and he takes that puck. And you're right, Gabriel Vilardi is right beside, it was Vlasic, right? And he's right beside him. And then all of a sudden, just that half step away to give himself that time and space, which we know that Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele are just experts at that, but so is Gabriel Vilardi, and he just gives himself that opportunity to make it a 4-1 game. So it was at that point. looking pretty good. Ezzy, you would have been appreciated. I made a prediction before the game started. I said it was going to be a 4-1 Jets game, and I was looking good for 40 minutes. I didn't call it I don't call them Ginsburg guarantees like you do, but I was feeling good about it until, of course, the third period started. But I was looking good after 40.
Yeah, well, after 40 minutes, you were right. And then they decided to play another 20 minutes,
Yes.
and that unfortunately cut into your prediction and your success rate on that prediction. But, good effort there on your part there, Dave Minuk. It's Josh Morrissey. He gets his first. It's 4-1.
Shocking, by the way, 11 games in that Josh Morrissey has only one.
But do you see his numbers against the Blackhawks? So they showed it on the broadcast.
No, I didn't see
It's
it.
absurd.
Numbers against the Blackhawks in the last, I think it was something like 13 games he's played against the Blackhawks. He has something like 21 points against them in the last 13 games he's played.
I'm like, he's played way more than 13 games against the Hawks. You're just talking about the last 13 games.
The most recent 13 games he's played against the Blackhawks.
Didn't he play 13 games against the Hawks last year, has he? I mean, that alone, but okay, fair enough.
No, he didn't. But
well, I'm not literal, Drew, but my point is that he plays them 4 times a year, right? So, I mean, it wouldn't have only been 13 in his entire career.
I never said it was his entire
I know,
career.
but you made it kind of sound like that. I'm just going to say that.
Ezzy, can you come to my defense here that I don't know what the Minuk's taking this?
I may have also not been listening entirely.
Can I just step in and start analyzing this goal here, boys?
Sure.
Please.
What I like is, and we've talked about Taves.
Wait, are you Tom or are you Jerry?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Does it matter? No. I'd like to be Tom if possible, but I think it was Partisan Paul who made the comment, Nemesnikov's looks much better on the wing. I agree. And look, can you use Nemesnikov up the middle? Of course you can. But with Adam Lowry coming back, guys, I think it's safe to say that Nemesnikov's going to stay on the wing, and then you're going Scheifele, Taves, Lowry, Barron, right? I think that's what we all expect. Obviously, if everybody remains healthy.
I wouldn't be surprised if they keep Barron on the wing and they put Ford up the middle on the fourth line. I don't think they've lost anything on that fourth line, and Barron has been effective on playing on the wing as well. I mean, I think it just gives you options. I mean, I if it means more ice time for Morgan Barron as a winger than as a fourth line center, I'm okay with trying him out, giving him some runway on that. So
you're thinking what, Lowry, Niederreiter, maybe Barron on the wing on that line?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I think that's going to be a line that should win a lot of your minutes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what I like about
if Nyquist is out of the lineup, maybe you move Barron up there and try and give him a shot somewhere.
Absolutely. No, I think it's a good point.
More of a Saturday morning conversation.
Absolutely. But what I like about this, first off, Iafallo does some good work kind of just hunting the puck, and Taves gets it back to DeMello, who had a nice little multi-point night. And look, I mean, again, we talked about the fourth goal. That was a pretty goal, right? Velarde's goal, that's a pretty goal. This is just Morrissey, who we know is very good at placing that puck. He usually puts the puck in the right position, and he made it a little bit hard for Spencer Knight. And then obviously, he gets a little bit flustered and then puts the puck in. But again, I like the fact that in the third period, the Jets are still in attack mode. And we've said that in previous seasons, right, guys? Maybe not so much last year, the President's Trophy winning year, but we've said before when the Jets are up a goal or two, there might be a little bit of a lull in their game and they kind of go back into prevent defense mode, and not in this game. And if you think about it, guys, that was a key goal, right? Like it didn't end up being the winning goal, but if he doesn't score that goal, then, it's a little bit tighter, once the Hawks mount a little bit of a comeback. So that fifth goal was an important one.
Well, it's good for Josh Morrissey also just to get off the schneid get. I mean, not that he hasn't been contributing to this Winnipeg Jets team, because Lord knows he has. He's got 9 assists on the season already. So he's now got a goal and 9 assists. But, just I'm sure good for him so that it doesn't become anything more of a conversation about why he hasn't scored just yet. Not the prettiest one he's ever scored, but he gets the shot through. And good things happen when you get shots on net, when you get shots through. And this time it was a fortuitous bounce. I saw somebody asking in the chat if I had used the terminology fortuitous bounce yet. Well, I hadn't.
That was Issue Boy.
Now. It was an Issue Boy? Okay, well, I have now used the term fortuitous bounce, and it certainly works for the Winnipeg Jets to give them the 5-1 lead, Dave.
Although I was wrong, I did say that Jonathan Taves, as he now has a point against every NHL team, but incorrect I would be, because Utah left their records. I know I got a text from someone who's will remain nameless, but he does have a water bottle named after him. But it was very nice of him. He sent me a heads up, and so
I didn't water bottle named after him.
Well, someone obviously doesn't pay attention to our chat.
Who has a water bottle named after them?
Kenny's water bottle.
Yes. Well, who would have sent me a text message?
Oh, Kenny Weep.
Yes, obviously. Wow, we're really simpatico this
I
evening.
feel like I'm in a time warp right now.
Anywho, the point is that because Utah left their records in Arizona.
Drew's been hitting the bourbon again, Dave.
Clearly, they've been doing something. But the point is that that he does not have a point against Utah. So we'll revisit that tweet when they play the Utah Mammoth and get a chance. Thank you, Treegi. Treegi gets me.
At least somebody gets you. 5-1 at that point. The Blackhawks get 2 goals in 2 minutes and 1 second to make things a little bit closer. Maybe make things a little bit nervous as there's still 5 minutes to go in this game. Alex Vlasic gets his first. That's the first of the Blackhawks 2 quick goals. He gets his first of the season. It's deemed an unassisted goal, which I guess could technically be unassisted.
Did it hit the ref, by the way, when Josh Morrissey tried to rim it around the boards? Did it hit the ref?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's a good question. It's hard to tell. It was just not. I mean, Vlasic comes down from the point here. Obviously, the Blackhawks are activating everybody. I'm still surprised it's an unassisted goal. You think Connor Murphy might have deserved an assist on it as he takes the initial point shot? I'm not sure.
There was like 6 guys along the boards there, and I think it was Iafallo or Taves that maybe was the last person to touch the puck, so that's maybe why it was unassisted. But you're right. I mean, for all those Blackhawks that were digging at the puck and getting it back to Vlasic, they could have given them an assist. But you're right, Drew. I mean, this is, again, we talk about this all the time, but I mean, it's just a point shot with traffic. Like you said, the Hawks go to the net. They're down 4 goals, so they have nothing to lose with 7 minutes left in the game. And I guess it's just one of those goals that kind of, it's a little bit of a juicy rebound. Yeah. But it's at the end of the day, it's a garbage time goal, and it luckily didn't really have an impact on the game at all.
No, you could argue though that really Bedard and Murphy deserved assists, because I don't even think any of the Jets had possession of the puck, even if they may have kicked it over. Like, there was no firm possession to.
Yeah, I'm watching it now. Dave
before Vlasic touched it. To me, it looked like Bedard actually hit it over. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I again, even if a Jets stick touched it inadvertently, I don't know that it was necessarily enough to be considered possession. But regardless, it is what it is, and it was a goal that gave the Hawks a bit of life. Even though at 5-2, you're like, well, really, it's not much of a worry at that point.
Not much of a worry, but it gets to be a little bit more of a worry 2 minutes and 1 second later, as Andre Burakovsky gets his third of the season.
Was that a beautiful goal?
And we have a rule here on the show that if the description of a goal is ever between the legs shot, as it currently is on NHL.com, that is going to be awarded our Wheatland Hockey Heads Up Hockey play of the game. They build skills at Wheatland Hockey. I'm not sure how much skill work they're doing on your between the legs shot attempts, but that's something that if it's to be taught, our friends at Wheatland Hockey will teach it. They're building skills, they're building character, and they're building excellence on and off the ice. A fresh approach to youth hockey and development, proudly serving Winnipeg, Manitoba, and surrounding areas. Check them out online, wheatlandhockey.ca. Just an incredible goal here by Andre Burakovsky. I mean, man, oh man, I know it's really all for naught, but boy, you have to appreciate that kind of talent when it was on display.
No, absolutely. And you got to give the Hawks, again, credit here for continuing to fight. By the way, just saw a comment from our buddy Frank Zappia. So good to see Frank's joining us tonight.
Frank, you owe me a text message. You were supposed to send me some information. You haven't followed up on the text, so I might as well tell him on it this way.
Frank, text me instead. Text me instead. I'm a way better texter than Drew. But yeah, this is just like Bedard does a good job of finding Andre Burakovsky there right in front of the net, and he spins around. And not only does he go between his legs, he goes through Logan Stanley's legs too, Dave.
Crazy.
So this is the type of goal that's going to be on highlight reels. Like, it's obviously at the end of the day a meaningless goal, but still very impressive from Burakovsky.
Still damn pretty. Not to be outdone, I'm pretty sure Kyle Connor.
I was just gonna say, like, this Kyle Connor goal is as filthy as they come. Like, it was insane.
Almighty. It's
I actually feel like I need to shower after seeing those 2 goals.
Well, you might need to shower in general.
I also stink. So
yeah,
I don't say anything
else, but it's coming. More showers for you rather than less showers.
It's coming through the internet.
Yeah.
Kyle Connor on the backhand. I mean, the window he has to hit to be able to get this shot under the bar over Spencer Knight is incredible. And he does it in such a what almost looks like an effortless fashion.
Yeah, he's like toying with Spencer Knight.
Like, honest to God, the smile on his face, you can sort of see the smirk on his face, you know. And I'll read a quote after we come back from break about what, you know, I think it was Gabe Vilardi, you know, said about this goal. I mean, it's an incredible goal by Kyle Connor. I mean, Burakovsky's goal is unbelievable as well. But Kyle Connor on this one, he takes the pass from Scheifele, darts going from his left to his right, and he looks like he's in too tight. He looks like there's not enough room here to do it, and yet he somehow manages to get it up over Spencer Knight, yet under the bar, into the back of the net. That wraps up the scoring, 6-3 for the Winnipeg Jets. But man, oh man, what can you say about this goal by Kyle Connor?
It was just incredible. I mean, there's a number of words you can use to describe it, but I love the fact, and I know you're going to use, I'm not going to steal the quote from you on Gabe Vilardi, but watching the replay, just watching Vilardi standing beside the net as he waiting if that puck gets to him so he can just tap it in for his hat trick. But it's like, you know that Spencer Knight had tried, look, it's important because it kills any momentum that Chicago has, right? The Burakovsky goal, 5-3, still a long ways away, but the fact of the matter is, gives your team momentum. So they're about to pull Spencer Knight. Jets get possession, and now Spencer Knight has to all of a sudden retreat back into his net because you got Scheifele, Vilardi, and Connor coming your way. You can't leave them, you know, with that sort of opportunity. So you see Spencer Knight kind of shift back into his net, and he gets, but I think he has enough time to kind of reset himself. But the play that Kyle Connor makes to use Mark Scheifele as kind of a screen, because Scheifele's pushing in, and then to put that puck up. Like, this guy has scored so many pretty goals in his career. I mean, he's approaching 600 points. We know it's a fairly even split in terms of goals and assists, right, Ezzy? So he's just got, I think he's got 7 assists now, and he's got 295 goals, I think. But the point is that he's getting close to hitting that 600-point mark. And actually, that wouldn't make sense what I just said because he'd be over it. But anyways, the point is he's close to that mark. And in fact, I think he's 3 points away. And so many of the goals have been his incredible wrist shot. And you talked about Connor Bedard in this game, Ezzy, earlier when he got a shot off. Kyle Connor had a shot that he obviously didn't score on it, but it was another example of just how lethal his shot is. He gave himself a little jump, and then he ripped a shot on net. And I can't remember if he missed or Spencer Knight made the save, but it just was an example of how elusive and deceptive his shot can be. And so we're so used to seeing the shot and being amazed by the shot. But when he does that backhand, and as Don Cherry used to say, the hardest thing for a goaltender to save is the backhand. And it was pretty. And we don't try and fluff too much, but that one was spectacular.
He put that one where Baba hides the cookies.
Exactly.
9 points for the Jets' top line in tonight's game. 3 for Scheifele, 3 for Connor, 3 for Vilardi. 6 goals by the Winnipeg Jets in tonight's victory. 6-3, in fact, is the final score. The Jets defeat the Chicago Blackhawks. When we come back on the Illegal Curve post-game show, well, first of all, just to get everyone excited for the commercials, there's a new commercial debuting tonight on the post-game show. Our friends at Label Daddy have joined the roster of advertisers here, so you can get excited and stay tuned for a new commercial. Label Daddy. Big thank you to Label Daddy online, labeldaddy.com, for joining the roster of Illegal Curve advertisers. As he's a labeling machine, you'll find out about that momentarily. Go ahead, Dave.
2 things. Number one, I fact-checked myself. It was 290 goals and 307 assists. So there you go. He's
How could you get that
point
wrong, Dave?
I was pretty close, but anyways, I knew I gave him too many goals. I was like, well, hold on a second. I did the math in my head. I'm like, that's like 602. So he couldn't be there yet, but he's at 597. The other thing, Drew, I'm a little surprised. A lot of folks in the chat right now, what did we just open? We just opened the Illegal Curve merch shop. So I thought maybe this would be an opportunity before you go to break. You can bring it up while I'm talking. But remember, folks, and it's in the notes on the morning papers, but we did open up the IC merch store. It is going to be open till November 17th. So if you want to get some IC merch, some new merch, we got some great hoodies,
Why did we pick the 17th, by the way? Like, why not a multiple of 5? Why was it the 17th? Was that because it's a Friday?
No, I just arbitrarily made that decision, to be honest with you. I don't think it had anything to do with anything other than just making that call, Ezzy. But we've got, as Drew's pulled it up, so if you're listening on the podcast, go to illegalcurve.com, check out the merch button on this website, and it'll take you to our store. But we've got some hoodies, some sweatpants, we've got some zip-ups. I think the stuff looks real good. And everything will be ready before Christmas. So that's why we had the November 17th date, Ezzy, to answer your question, because we wanted everybody to get their stuff for the holiday season.
Christmas and Hanukkah.
Yeah, I was going to say whatever holidays you celebrate. You don't have to buy them for a holiday reason. If you want to just buy them because you like the stuff. So make sure you get that. And I'll put a link in the chat, but it is, of course, on our website as well.
And by the way, November 17th is a Monday.
I was going to say, it's funny. I actually didn't think I picked a Friday, but when you said that, I didn't want to argue. I was like, okay, you might be right. But
it just seems like kind of a random date, but it's all good.
And Dave, it looks like Snackatoba here is asking about the impact of a potential Canada Post work stoppage on the merchandise. So why don't you touch on that briefly?
It's a rotating strike, though, isn't it?
Yes, but it could also become a full strike very quickly. I suspect they'll use that as leverage as you get closer to the holiday season, Ezzy.
Yeah, probably. But anyways, okay, so the IC merch link is in the chat window right now. So we are dealing with a local company called Outstanding Branding, which is based out of the Inkster Industrial Park. So if you need to, you can actually pick up your items from them when they are ready. And if you don't reside in Winnipeg or you don't want to go down, there are delivery options. Again, I can't account. I'm not really up to date. Drew, you're more of our point man in Ottawa, and you know more.
Drew's more of a labor relations expert.
Yeah, I was going to say that's more your window. So I'm going to leave that.
Exactly.
I generally
negotiating contracts in my spare time.
I'll be honest. I don't even notice when the mail is not being delivered. But anyways, I don't want
Drew did go to high school with Jimmy Hoffa. So.
Leslie says, still no golf shirts in the merch. Well, the golf shirts are not really in season right now, Leslie. We do have some IC golf shirts that we made up for ourselves, actually. But the fact is we'll have golf shirts in the spring. But right now, we're focused on getting you ready for the cooler weather, which is why we've got hoodies and hats. Well, not the hats so much, but hoodies and pull-ups. So hopefully everyone enjoys it. JC saying Dave Southenders don't go to the North End for the Inkster Industrial Park. JC, just tell him Dave Minuk sent you. You'll be fine.
And just addressing this from JC, he loves the color choices, gray or gray. There are more choices. Just click the link. You'll see, as I can highlight it here, you got a lovely looking blue over there. It's almost, I don't think it's quite a navy. I'm not exactly sure what the tone of this is called, but is it navy?
Navy.
I don't
well,
think it's navy.
I think it tells you what the colors are called. I'm not so fancy, Drew, to tell you. See?
Midnight
Charcoal
blue.
Heather.
No, that's midnight blue.
Midnight blue. No, I'm saying, but like there's all the fancy names. So you can't just say gray and black. We got fancy color names. So, and the other thing I was going to say, if you want a New Era hat, like the one I'm currently wearing, well, it wouldn't be this style because it's going to be slightly different, but we have a limited edition number of New Era hats. So,
they call it a drop, I believe, in the industry.
Well, look at you. I did not know that, but thank you for letting me know.
In any event, the Illegal Curve merchandise store is now open. If you didn't find the link in the chat, illegalcurve.com/merchandise. And it's like Dave said, it's in every edition of the morning papers. When we come back, more on the Jets' victory over the Chicago Blackhawks. And of course, the debut of the new Illegal Curve commercial in conjunction with our friends at Label Daddy. For Dave
and slightly amended one.
And a slightly amended one. Okay, there you go. Don't go anywhere. Much more of the Illegal Curve post-game shows still to come.
I want to thank you for not betting with Play Now and choosing our illegal gambling site instead.
Because we couldn't afford things like this without your money. So much of your money. Now you might have questions like,
Do our profits benefit your community?
no. Or bet with Play Now, Manitoba's local legal and secure gambling site.
Dining, entertainment, parking, and convenience, all in one spot. City Place is located in the heart of downtown Winnipeg, attached to the Canada Life Centre. Whether you're working, living, or out for a night in the downtown, make City Place your go-to destination before or after the fun finds you. Lunchtime, game time, anytime, Visit City Place at 333 St. Mary Avenue, next to Canada Life Center.
Boys, I've made an important life decision, and I need your support.
Oh, boy.
I've decided to get a grill.
You mean a barbecue grill for cooking? Like, that's not an important life decision, Ezzy.
No. A grill for my teeth.
A grill for your teeth? Do I even want to know why you're doing this?
It's simple, really. Every time I go to Holt Dental, I get treated so very well by Dr. John and his team that I need to keep finding additional reasons to go back. I rely on Holt Dental for all of my dental needs, and they do it all, from regular cleanings to cosmetic dentistry. Plus, they have free parking at their front door, and you know how much I love my convenient parking.
For all your dental needs, Illegal Curve recommends Holt Dental, conveniently located on Taylor Avenue near Grant Park Mall. For more information, visit them online at holtdental.ca.
Guys, big news. You know how I'm always misplacing my cool stuff? Well, Big Daddy has a new hobby, labeling.
Labeling is your new hobby.
You got it. Ever since I discovered Label Daddy's washable labels, I just can't stop labeling. I'm labeling water bottles, hockey sticks, cereal boxes, roast chickens, team jerseys. Everything deserves a label.
I can think of a label or two for you.
Best part is that Label Daddy is the only label company officially licensed by the NHL. So my labels are personalized and can have the Jets logo on them. Just search NHL on the Label Daddy website.
For almost 2 decades, Label Daddy has been helping people to not lose their stuff. It's the most affordable insurance policy around.
For customized, washable, peel and stick labels with no ironing or sewing required, visit labeldaddy.com and search NHL for the label pack belonging to your favorite team.
For over 40 years, Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club has been Winnipeg's home for stand-up comedy. Renowned in the comedy world as a must-play venue, Rumors has recently been named Canada's top comedy club and a top 5 comedy club in North America. From birthday parties to date nights to fundraisers, wedding socials, and everything in between, Rumors is your destination for the best live entertainment Winnipeg has to offer. For information on upcoming shows, Rumors' incredible promotions, and to purchase show tickets, visit rumorscomedyclub.com.
Welcome back to the Illegal Curve post-game show. Drew Mandel, Dave Minuk, Ezra Ginsburg, when he's not too busy labeling all of the roast chickens that he has available to him now, as he is, of course, a key analyst and contributor to us here on the Illegal Curve post-game show. That was my favorite part of that commercial, I got to say. I thought it was an inspired line that you're sitting there, you're sitting there labeling roast chickens left, right, and center.
Well, that
made me laugh.
Yeah, when you have a dozen roast chickens, you got to label them because I don't want my kids to think that they can eat my roast chicken, right?
No.
So these commercials are a lot of fun to put together, obviously, and we're happy to have Label Daddy as a sponsor.
Yeah.
Obviously joining our list of other great sponsors, and hope everybody's going to get a little kick out of it, and obviously, go to labeldaddy.com and support them.
Yeah, exactly right. And of course, I mentioned that the only labeling company that you can get the Jets logo on your customized labels, just search NHL on the Label Daddy website, and you can get it all customized and personalized at that point. Big thanks to our friends at Label Daddy. I mentioned the quote from Gabe Velarde. This is courtesy of our buddy Carter Brooks, who put this out on the old tweet machine. Quote, I guess this is what Gabe Velarde said to actually Murat Atesh. It was a nasty view, I'll tell you that. It was a pretty cool goal to see from there. I was just trying to make a wall, throw it back door, and maybe it hits me and goes in. But he did a nice play. That was nice. Velarde, he continues on, quote, I told him when we were going for the stars, I was like, I had an unreal view of that. It went right back bar and then came out fast. I was like, did that go in? It was pretty nice. It was a good goal. That's Gabe Velarde talking about Kyle Connor's dirty backhand top shelf, the 6th goal of tonight's game to give the Jets a 6-3 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks. A complete victory for the Winnipeg Jets, at least a more or less complete victory. A team that was in need of one gets one, and they improve on the season to 8 wins and 3 losses, which puts them tied with the Utah Mammoth atop the Central Division. Then the Colorado Avalanche, who also have 16 points, but they have 2 fewer wins. They just have 4 overtime defeats, the Avalanche do so far this season. So there you go, with all things happening in and around the Central Division of the NHL. The Jets
Don't believe Comet, Drew.
What's that?
Don't believe Comet.
Okay, I won't believe Comet. Why am I not believing Comet?
I'm joking.
Dave does dress up well. He looks equally as good when he's wearing the IC merch versus wearing a suit to games. Love it.
Okay.
Fresh to death.
Dave's as fresh and handsome as they possibly come.
Wow.
The
Thanks,
Manitoba Moose. Why don't you give us a quick Moose update there, Dave? And I'll set you up with that one before we wrap up tonight's post game.
Put on your antlers. It's time for the Minute Moose Minute on the Illegal Curve Hockey Show.
Thank you, Drew. I appreciate that. If you want an extended Minute Moose Minute, Ezzy, I had a chat with Jacob Julian, which we just posted on our YouTube channel. These are, of course, the ones we did during production day. But, you know, Colby Spence, our crack photographer and as well a videographer, it can only be asked to do so much. And he's been putting those together for us. So we've got one more to go. But anyways, the Moose were in Tucson, Arizona, boys, for their second and final game of this, or not technically second game of the set against the Roadrunners and the final game of the road trip. And they were looking to keep things rolling after picking up a 2-0 win the night prior with a 51-shot margin. Not margin, but 51 shots on net. And they did, in fact, go back-to-back, picking up another victory. Remember Austin Pagansky, Ezzy? Played for the Jets, also played for the Moose. He, UND guy.
I was going to say, he went to UND. Yeah.
He did, and he opened up the scoring for the Roadrunners. But Braden Yager, he's looking more and more like he's fitting in as a pro. He ripped a shot. Jared Anderson-Dolan got a nice little tap in. He tied things up. Phil Di Giuseppe, let's say that 3 times fast, boys. He had a shorthanded goal to make it a 2-2 game. And then Kel Clegg in the third period, early in the third period, he blasted one. Now, I was playing catch-up, of course. I'm going to be honest, because I wasn't, of course, watching the game live. I was watching the Jays game live, and then I was periodically watching the Moose, which started the Mount time, so it was a little later. And it was funny because I started watching the Moose game, and they were, I think it was about 5 minutes to go in the third. And I was watching, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I'll watch the end of the game just to see if anything exciting happens, and then I'll jump to the end, and I'll go back to the beginning or the middle where I was. And as I jumped to the end, boys, Walker Dewar did his best. Patrick Stefan.
That was hilarious.
I honestly,
why was he blasting it like that?
No idea. So just to set it up, and I'm sure everybody understood when I said the Patrick Stefan reference, but Walker Dewar gets the puck, makes a nice little move to get around the Roadrunners defenseman. So now he's got an empty net. The Moose are up by a goal. I think it was 4-3 at this point. And Walker Dewar walks in, and he's literally got an empty net. And he's maybe 5 feet to 7 feet away from the open net. And Drew, actually,
it's not on your Twitter?
It's on my Twitter. Go on my Twitter, actually. This really needs to be brought in and shown to folks, because this was...
It was like... coast that puck in, like just tap it in, as the old saying goes in Happy Gilmore. But he absolutely rips it wide.
Yeah, and it was, and Dan Fink, I think, was going to have an aneurysm doing it, because he's like, okay, they're going to seal the deal, they're going to win this one easily. And sure enough, Walker Dewar puts it way, way above the net. Drew, did you find it or no?
Yeah, I found it. Here it goes.
Okay.
Hang on.
Just tap it in. Comment's right. Just tap it in. But he did not try to just tap it in. And here is the evidence of that. Oh, no sound.
Sorry, I can get the sound going if you want.
Well, I think it's important just to hear Fink call it. Oh, and then you instead of getting the sound, you erased it. All right. Well, when Drew, as he has his second screen, this is
everybody with an open cage, and he puts it over top the net from 5
This is
feet
ridiculous.
away. All he had to do was tap it in, and the game. Time they miss it here tonight, and now a stretch play, and Dewar slips it behind everybody with an open cage.
No pressure.
Puts it over top the net from
Hilarious.
5 feet away.
That's crazy part. He's absolutely got no pressure.
And the game time.
And instead of just tapping it in, as Comet put it in, he just goes, he sails it out. And it wasn't, again, to be clear, boys, it wasn't like, okay, there's 5 seconds left in the game. There was like a minute 30 left.
Yeah,
in the
they
game.
could have easily come back and scored.
And in fact, they had a great chance. Dominic DiVincentis, the Jets goalie prospect, he made a real nice save to keep it a 1-goal game. And then as time was winding down for Frosty, I'm going to make it a reference. Danny Zhilkin, who again continues to look real good, he beats out an icing. So the ice is the Roadrunners as opposed to getting an icing against them, and the Moose win the game. So their first 2-game winning streak of the season, and they're back home. Maybe with Adam Lowry on Sunday. We'll find out. If you want to go to the game, though, we have tickets in the Illegal Curve Zone. So fire me a message, dave@illegalcurve.com, and we'll hook you up with some tickets so you can go see the Jets of tomorrow in a few days.
There you go. The Jets will be on the ice tomorrow, 12 noon is practice. Complete coverage available on our website, illegalcurve.com, and also here, of course, on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already... Yes?
Do you want me to give Owen Martin the Oakbank product? Hockey Manitoba scored a big goal, a game-winning goal for the Spokane Chiefs yesterday. And, I mean, I feel like if we're not giving Hockey Manitoba kids who are from this province their due, especially when he's a 2025 third-rounder for the Winnipeg Jets, we should mention him. And Ezzy, maybe you should mention what happened with the kids from Hockey Manitoba.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It seems like that was so long ago, but that was on Sunday. Yeah, for the second time in 3 years, I'm very proud to say, because I obviously work for Hockey Manitoba, that Team Manitoba won their second WHL Cup in 3 years. And this was a very special group. Athens Shingus was the MVP of the tournament. Just a really good group. Crosby Matejchuk, who's Columbus Blue Jackets player, Denta Matejchuk, that's his younger brother. So obviously that Matejchuk family is a complete dynasty. Just a lot of good athletes in that family. They had a plus 22 goal differential in 5 games. So it was they beat Saskatchewan 11-2 in the preliminary round. So yeah, shout out to the boys, Team Manitoba, bringing home a second WHL Cup in 3 years.
There you go. Good job giving them credit there. Good reminder there, Dave M. As I was saying, of course, are you doing the Owen Martin update, or are we saving that?
I just did.
Okay, good.
I said he got the game-winning goal for the Spokane Chiefs, but now you've given me the opening, Ezzy, to tell you about Kieran Walton.
There we go.
Even though Sudbury got just pounded, Kieran Walton had 2 goals, and he is on a hot streak. Remember, Jets fans, the 2024 6-rounder, suffered that concussion in training camp. He had a bit of a slow start, had no point in his first 2 games, but he's been heating up since. I think he's got 5-5 in his last 3. So
well, and we give you a hard time, Dave, but like this is one of the more intriguing prospects to me in the Jet system. Obviously, there's prospects that are higher up, like whether it's Braden Yager, whether it's Sasha Boumedian, like there are other players that you would say are maybe going to be higher end, higher ceiling prospects. But Kieran Walton, you just mentioned it, Dave, like he's a 6th rounder. He had 92 points last year. And like you said, he's already got 17 points in 9 games. So he's got obviously good size and he can move, right? So he's a guy to definitely watch.
Yeah.
Do you want me to check the rest of the? I can check if Jacob Cloutier had anything for Saginaw.
You can save it for Saturday morning in the Illegal Curve Hockey Show at 9 a.m. The Jets are next in action. Like I said, they'll be on the ice tomorrow at 12 noon. Coverage of that on the website and, of course, here on our YouTube channel. And then Saturday afternoon, the Jets and the Penguins, as Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin will make their only trip to Winnipeg, barring it being, of course, a Stanley Cup final matchup. 9 a.m. Saturday, the Illegal Curve Hockey Show. We'll be back to talk about that, preview the Jets and the Penguins as the month of October has come to an end and we turn our attention to the month of November instead. If you haven't already done so, folks, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, tell your friends, tell your family. The best place to be after each and every Winnipeg Jets game is here on the Illegal Curve YouTube channel.
Partisan Paul pulling out a Pavel Kraskovsky. Wow. What was that, like a 2012 draft or something? Like that's going way back.
It's been a while. It's no question. Next we're going to be talking about Ivan Telegan or something along those lines. Dave, you can give an update on that front.
Okay, well, right now he's playing. No.
What's Mark Flood up to these days, boys?
He's a scout for the Senators.
Is he?
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Once commented on a pair of shoes I was wearing. Said, nice kicks.
Nice kicks. Well, I've seen your kicks, Dave. They're not usually that nice. So
usually they're not nice, but the pair I was wearing happened to be nice ones.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Whatever, be safe. There's kids running around like crazy tomorrow.
What about our predictions for Game 6?
The Jays game?
Jays win.
I think they lose tomorrow.
Really?
What?
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
Yamamoto. I think Yamamoto shuts him down tomorrow.
Ooh, wow.
Did you watch him in game 2?
I sure did. I watched him, but yeah, no, I mean it's a good call.
Yeah.
Talking about Drew, the Jays are going to win 8-2.
Okay.
Wow.
God help us all if it comes to life that it's 8-2.
As he's predicting the first World Series in 32 years back in Canada.
I'm sorry. I think Yamamoto. The Jays win the series, but they win it in 7. Yamamoto.
Well, we got it. By the way, we do.
Who's pitching tomorrow for the Jays? Max Scherzer.
No, Gosman.
Gosman, and then Scherzer gets Game 7.
Yeah. But Game 7 is all hands on deck. So
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Savage is going to be pitching.
I said, well, as it lines up, I said this yesterday.
By the way, I knew if I mentioned baseball, Drew would go back. Well, illegal pitch is back. Let's go.
Yeah. I said Savage will, that's his bullpen day. That would be his regularly scheduled bullpen day. So it's not unreasonable to think that the Jays can use him for 2 or 3 innings if they have to in a Game 7 as a result, the way it lines up.
Just as a quick aside, that game last night was so good. And it was, I mean, I know it wasn't a close game.
The start was crazy. 2 home runs in the first 2 batters.
Well, the best was that Dan Schulman wasn't even, I don't think Dan Schulman was really ready. He's like, okay, he's at the plate. And wait a second, it's gone. And then Vladdy hits one, like 2 pitches later.
2 homers and 3 pitches.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. But, that was a lot of fun. And I think a lot of Canadians are celebrating right now. I know some people aren't Jays fans, and that's your prerogative. You don't have to be. Some of us grew up being Jays fans, and that's our choice. So, and Ezzy, Ezzy and I were the Edwin and Carson Owen days back in, was that 2016, Ezzy?
Yeah, that was the year the draft was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So we stayed in Toronto, and I mean, like I know you want to wrap up here, Drew. We all want to get to bed eventually, but let's be honest. Like, I mean, everyone's talking about the Jays. I think the greatest thing about this is how it's united our country. Like, there are people that aren't even really baseball fans that are getting into this, and that's just I don't want to get too deep here, but that's kind of the power of sport, right? Like, people are tuning in. Like, what were the ratings for
it was insane.
the games in Toronto? Like 11 million people or something. That's like
they had like
a quarter of the country is watching.
See, they had 40,000 people there in the building watching these games.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing. Like, it's just a testament to sport. You're absolutely right. It's been a lot of fun, regardless of what happens, regardless of outcome. But Savage's performance yesterday was, 12 strikeouts, no walks. That was ridiculous.
He's so good. And he's a rookie. Like, it's incredible.
I mean, the picture of him walking off the mound with Ohtani down to one knee. I mean, and if you're Ohtani, I mean, the fact that he's been like posterized, if you will, we could maybe labeled him actually, Drew, with the picture of him giving up the homer to Vladdy, and then also that picture of him going down to one knee with the Savage pitch. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, the baseball. It's been a lot of. I mean, look, if you're a Jays fan, which a lot of us are, and you grew up watching the Jays, other than in the early '90s. It's been some very, very dry years in Jaysdom. So it's nice to see what this team is doing.
And David Schneider stole my mustache to boot. So, we got to cheer for them as well.
Well, even his dad capturing the home run was
capturing
incredible.
the video. Yeah,
like that was
pretty cool.
It was pretty fun stuff. So.
Big thanks to all of our sponsors. Label Daddy, we talked about them. Our friends at Wheatland Hockey, City Place, Holt Dental, Play Now, they're the title sponsor. And, of course, our friends at Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club as well. Support these fine businesses because of their continued support of Illegal Curve Hockey. Jets win 6-3. More post-game coverage to come on illegalcurve.com. We'll see you back here Saturday morning at 9 a.m. For Dave Manouk, for Ezra Ginsburg, I'm your host, Drew Mandel. Until then, we wish you good night and good luck. And thanks for watching the Illegal Curve post-game show.